Hi, my name is Christina and I have some tips for enhancing the efficacy of windshield wiper pose. Windshield wiper pose gets some opening along the front of the hip. That opening is called hip extension, and we're going to activate those muscles strongly before we add length to them so that we get as much strength through the stretch as we can. And here, just do it together. Lie back on your forearms, separate your feet about hip distance apart, and then with both legs bent, lower your both bent legs to the side. Right, so you go back and forth. That's, I think, where it gets its name, the windshield wiper. So that's just the movement part of it and getting into position. Next, you'll take your right foot to the middle of your thigh. There are variations where your foot goes to the outside, and those are fine. This one is a little different because we're going to use the foot placement to help us get some resistance. Now, this is the bottom or the distal end of your thigh bone, far away from the core. Push that distal end of your bone into your foot. Now, this top end of your thigh, the more proximal end, take it back. And that's hip flexion. So it's not just stick your butt out, it's push your thigh into your foot and flex your hips so that now you've turned on the hip flexors. So you've got tone. Now, push out through your left heel. Firm your left buttocks, and now bring your left hip more and more forward. All the while, keep pushing that distal end of your thigh bone into your foot so that even as you extend the front of your hip, the muscles that you're lengthening have strength. All right, let's go to the other side. It's a lot of words, and when you get it right and the things sort of zing, you'll really feel it. Place your left foot in the middle of your thigh. Push the distal end of your thigh bone into your foot and take the proximal end of your thigh back to create hip flexion and tone in the hip flexors. Now we're going to extend the hip. Push out through your heel, firm your buttocks, bring the top of your thigh forward. All the while, keep putting your knee into your foot. And now use your foot to lengthen, to pull your thigh away from your hip to create not just tone, not just extension, but a lengthening action out through the bones. All right, and when we do it lying down, you can add an arm stretch. You'll take your right hand to your left wrist on the first side. With your lie down on your back, palms up, knees up, and windshield wipers to the right. Then, place your right foot in the middle of your left thigh. With your right hand, grab your left wrist. Like we practiced it on our forearms, push your left thigh into your foot and take the top of your left thigh back to tone your hip flexors. Now, push out through your left heel, firm your left buttocks, bring the top of your left thigh forward. All the while, keep pushing the distal end into your foot to keep tone. With your right hand, pull your left arm, and with your right foot, now lengthen your left thigh away from your hip. Keep lifting your low belly up, move your belly button back, and firm your buttocks as you go. Let's go to the second side together. Place your left foot in the middle of your right thigh. Then, push your right thigh into your foot and take the top of your right thigh back. So you're adding tone to the hip flexing muscles. Now push out through your right heel, firm your right buttocks, and bring the top of your right thigh and hip forward, but all the while, keep the internal action of foot and thigh against one another. With your left hand, grab your right wrist and pull. With your left foot, lengthen your right leg away from your hip to create as much space all along the front of your thigh as you can. As you do this, lift your low belly up and continue that action of foot against thigh, and most importantly, your thigh into your foot. Then come back up to the center, and we'll come up to seated. That work of toning the muscle as you lengthen it is one of the best ways to safeguard against overstretching and to keep our bodies going strong and resilient through the asana practice. Those actions will apply in a lot of different hip extension poses, so have fun with how many ways that you can apply them in your practice. Namaste.